Hello, and welcome to another episode of Connect, the show where we explore solutions for loneliness, foster connections, and encourage healthy aging in Massachusetts. I'm Sandra Harris, co-founder and co-leader of the Massachusetts Coalition to Build Community and End Loneliness, and we're thrilled to have you join us today. Today we have a truly heartwarming theme to explore. We'll discuss the incredible value of volunteerism, its impact on both the giver and the receiver, and how it can add meaning and purpose to our lives while helping to prevent loneliness. We're honored to have Polly Hunt, the Director of Volunteer Engagement at AARP Massachusetts, as our special guest today. Polly plays an integral role at AARP Massachusetts, tirelessly connecting volunteers with meaningful opportunities that benefit both the community and the volunteers themselves. With a wealth of experience and a deep passion for volunteerism, Polly is here to share insights on the transformative power of giving back. Welcome, Polly, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Sandra. It's such a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be able to speak to you today about volunteering.
Wonderful. Polly, to start, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to focus on volunteer engagement?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I've been with AARP Massachusetts for about a year and a half now, but volunteering in general has always been an important part of my life since I was little. My mom took me, I can remember, to my first Habitat for Humanity project when I was a little kid, and it still really left an imprint on me and shaped sort of the future of what I wanted to pursue. And so every sort of career choice I've done has incorporated volunteerism, and I've seen the impact that it has on my personal life still today as a volunteer, an active volunteer, instilling that into my own children's lives, and then the volunteers I get to work with, seeing how it's impacted their lives and continues to benefit them in so many different ways. It's just a gift that keeps on giving.
Well, it certainly is a topic that's very close to my heart. Volunteering has been shown to have numerous benefits for both the volunteer and the recipient. Could you share some of the psychological and physical health benefits that older adults experience through volunteering?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I think you certainly know the Surgeon General has declared loneliness and isolation as an epidemic. And so we know that it's a significant health risk for people when they are isolated, when they don't have access to resources, and when they're not socially connected, and they don't have that circle to support them. People have seen through volunteerism, they've done numerous studies and seen the health benefits. So people's blood pressure actually goes down when you're volunteering. The act of giving back has a physical health benefit to you because you're connected to community, and that act of being connected actually just boosts your serotonin. It has a physical component to it, which is amazing. And people, I always think that doctors should actually prescribe volunteering. You know, I think it's something that you take your medicine, and part of your routine should also be giving back and helping the community. There are just so many different studies. Depression also, they've seen people have lower levels of depression when they volunteer and give back because they're finding a sense of purpose. It's not just them anymore, it's a big picture. And you're also getting your brain engaged. So you're not in your home by yourself, you're with other people, you're having conversations, you're engaging your brain in different ways. And so there's the mental health and the brain capacity is expanding as you're working with people, talking, learning new things too, because when you're volunteering, you might be learning a new skill. It might be something that you haven't tried before and you get to try something new. So it expands your own horizons and gets you connected to more people, which is so important for your physical and your mental health.
Good. Can you speak a little bit more about how it adds purpose and meaning to life?
Yeah, I love that. So when you're 65 and older, you might be going through different transitions in life, right? You might be retiring. If you had children, they might be moving out of the house. And so your circles are changing, right? If you're retiring, you don't have that work circle anymore. And so you don't have that routine of getting up early in the morning, going to work, taking the kids to school. Those things are shifting and changing. And so you need to find other areas to fill those gaps that have been created as you're going through these different life changes. And so when you volunteer, you all of a sudden have this new regained a sense of purpose in your life. You are helping other people, whether you're going to a food pantry or going to a shelter or doing community service or helping animals and helping pets. It's whatever you are connected to. You have that purpose to get up, to get out the door, to help and give back. And that makes you feel like part of the community. You are part of the community. You're an integrated part of the community, which is so important now more than ever, I think, for people to feel that connection and know that what they're doing matters. What they're doing in their town, in their backyard, it matters. It has a significant impact. If you look at town structures, I mean, so much of it is built on volunteers. You wouldn't have a lot of certain functions, people on committees, you wouldn't have them if they weren't volunteering their time. And so volunteering is just so important to regain a sense of purpose, especially as you age and things change in your life.
And you know, Polly, we're seeing so much of ways in which volunteering, especially in the community, helps to really strengthen the fabric of the communities. Can you please share a number of some of the kinds of volunteer opportunities that AARP provides that kind of bring people to the community and help them establish a sense of belonging?
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many different opportunities that we offer. And I will say, too, there are also sort of baby steps. You can do things from your computer, from your tablet, initially, but the hope is that you get out into community and you build up into doing more and more activities. That's always the goal. Some of the opportunities that we offer, for example, are with our Livable Communities programs. Massachusetts is part of the Age Friendly Network, and so we're helping communities to become more age friendly, and that's for all ages. It's multi-generational. So, for example, you could do a walk audit. You could be a volunteer that helps people in your town do a walk audit. So, an example of part of a walk audit would be to time the lights at an intersection for crossing the crosswalk. And if you're a parent with a stroller, if you're someone that uses a wheelchair, if you're someone that uses a mobility device, if you're someone that has low vision or is visually impaired, those are all issues crossing that crosswalk. And you need to make your town, your city more accessible so that they can access the streets in a safe way. So you think of all the different generations and all the different people that need to be able to cross that crosswalk, something so simple that some of us might take for granted.
Right.
And so a volunteer can learn how to do a walk audit in their town, in their community, and then they have a list of activities that their town can accomplish to become an age-friendly certified town. So that's just one example in our Livable Communities arena. Then we have our fraud volunteers that are going out and doing shred events and making sure that people aren't becoming victims of fraud scams, which are every day there's a new fraud scam. We hear about it, especially with cryptocurrency nowadays. And so you can be a fraud volunteer and help at a shred event. You could give a presentation on fraud at your local library, and we have pre-designed presentations to do that. Then you could do a tabling event. So we have so many volunteers that are out at a health resource fair, and AARP has a table and we're giving out our educational material, or we might be at the New England Botanic Gardens and it's a free day for anybody that registers through our program, and we give them the information that they need to live better as they age in their community.
Okay. Now we know that the state office is in Boston.
Yeah.
Can you please tell our viewers how they can be involved if they're not in Boston?
Absolutely. Anyone across the state can get involved, which is wonderful. Again, there are quite a few opportunities that you can do virtually. So we have a lot of our meetings since COVID. I think we've shifted a lot of our meetings to Zoom, which is a great way for people to access the information and begin in the planning process as a volunteer. So I'll take again our fraud team of volunteers as an example. We meet once a month. Third Wednesday of the month, we all hop on Zoom. There's about 20 people that actively join each month, and we make a plan for how the fraud volunteers are then going to go out into their community, in their backyard. So we have fraud volunteers in the western part of the state, we have people on the Cape, we have people in Boston, we have people in Metro West. They are all spread out across the state, and they're making a plan for, oh, there's a shred event in my town. Let me go volunteer as an AARP volunteer, distribute our Fraud Watch handbook, which is a great resource, and they're actually going to help collect the materials at the shred event, distribute educational materials, and fight fraud while they're at it. So it's a great direct opportunity in their backyard. But then you can also travel. We have Speakers Bureau members, so people who get certified to be public speakers, and they talk about, we have 15 different presentations that we offer, and they travel all around the state, and AARP reimburses people for their mileage, so it makes it accessible for anybody that would like to get involved. You might drive to a council on aging, a senior center, or a Rotary Club, and you'll give a presentation for about 30, 40 minutes, and you get to engage with the community while you're educating them on a topic like caregiving or fraud. And so it's a great model too, because the volunteers are also living that life. They're volunteering, giving back, but they're engaging themselves, engaging their brain, and it's just that full circle of giving back and receiving at the same time.
Yeah. So for someone who has not volunteered before and who may feel a little hesitant simply because they haven't done it before, what would be the first step?
Yeah, so
what would you advise them to do?
Yeah, I would love to chat with that person as a first step. That's part of my role as the Director of Volunteer Engagement, and chat with them about their skills. What in their past is a good fit with what we do? Have they been an educator? Do they like public speaking? Do they like more administrative work behind the scenes? And it doesn't have to be what they did professionally. It could be something new, learn a new skill. Have you always wanted to get into public speaking? Or have you always wanted to learn a little bit more about advocacy and how our local governments work, how our state government works, and how the federal government works? If you're interested in learning about that, we're here for you. So I'm going to take advocacy as an example. So if you're interested in sort of a baby step on the advocacy level, you can get our e-alerts. So you can sign up to get the e-alerts, and you'll receive an email, and it'll ask you to take a step. Contact your local representative. We are supporting a caregiving bill, for example. That's sort of a small step. Then maybe come join us for a 30-minute meeting on the advocacy team on Zoom and learn more about the caregiving bill. And then maybe join us on the lobby days for older adults in May. And then maybe you even want to give a testimonial with Congress. There's just so many different tiers and levels, but that's one example in advocacy of how you can start with the baby steps and sort of work up to doing more and more. Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about training? What does your training program look like? Especially, for example, if I live in the western part of the state.
Yeah.
What does training look like for me?
Yeah. So it depends which program you want to get involved with. So that's part of what I would recommend is initial conversation. I'd love to chat with the person and see what interests them. So I'll take the Speakers Bureau as an example. If you're in the western part of the state and you're interested in Speakers Bureau, you're going to do an online training, which we offer. You'll get paired with a mentor, so somebody who's already certified will work with you on the steps that are required to become a certified speaker. And then once you pass your certification, which is you present for 10 minutes in front of a panel, then you get to go out into the community, into your local community, and present on the different topics. Now that's Speakers Bureau. If there are other areas that interest you, a good starting point is our Intro to Volunteering. We offer Intro to Volunteering 30 minutes the first Wednesday of every month online, 12 to 12:30, and you're going to learn about all the different volunteer programs that we offer. And we're going to get you connected with a mentor. Like I said, similar to Speakers Bureau, we can also offer mentors who are seasoned volunteers that want to work with you, can answer your questions, and you learn from them directly. So those are sort of the initial steps towards volunteering. We want to make sure that your questions get answered and that you have somebody to shadow so that you don't feel alone and that your questions get answered.
Okay, so now that I've been trained as a
Yes.
volunteer, I know everything about fraud and our advocacy. How do I base this work in my community? What help do you provide in helping me identify the groups perhaps with whom I can share conversation or motivate? How does that work? How do I motivate my community to take advantage of all the things that I've been trained in?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we will work with you, and the volunteers on that team will work with you. Our programs are very volunteer-led, so we want you to be working side by side with our volunteers, but the staff is always there as well to support you. We will get you connected to, for example, if you're in the fraud arena, we want you to get connected with the local law enforcement and let them know, hey, I'm a volunteer with AARP. We do presentations on fraud. We're having a presentation at the library on Thursday. Would you like to come and join us? Because a police officer would be a great person to work side by side with and help teach the public about what they're seeing in the field on fraud initiatives, and how to report an incident that has happened to them personally. It's always important to report these incidents. So we'll get you connected with people in your town, but you're also taking the initiative yourself as well to see what's going on in your community and see how we can all partner together. But we're here to do that together with the volunteers and the staff.
Okay. So Polly, help us by sharing maybe a few examples of how that works and successes in recruiting, not only recruiting volunteers, but getting them mobilized in their communities and retaining them.
Yeah. There's so many great volunteer stories. I love working with the volunteers. It's one of the highlights of the work that I get to do. And I listen to the stories that they share with me when they're out in community and doing the amazing work that they do. One person comes to mind that does our Prepare to Care presentation. So it's our caregiving presentation. And she has put a really beautiful spin on the presentation using her own personal experience of going through cancer. She also prepares people to be the recipients of care, which is oftentimes sort of the hardest, step for some people to take, is to accept that you're in a point in your life where you need to receive the care. So many people are such givers, but you also have to be willing and ready to receive the care. So I love how she's done that, because she does 40 presentations every year throughout the state of Massachusetts, which is a lot. And the amount of people that she's touched that will come up to her after a presentation and say, this has really helped me. I'm a caregiver for my mom, and you've given me the skills, or, oh, I just got a diagnosis and I'm about to be the recipient of caregiving and you've helped me prepare for that. So those stories really touch my heart, and there's so many of them, but that's just one example of the many stories we have.
Okay, good. Here to help us understand how volunteerism can add meaning and purpose to life is our field reporter, Melissa Donegan. Melissa?
Great. Thank you, Sandra. I'm joined today by Dennis, who is a volunteer for the AARP Massachusetts. Dennis, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about the positive impacts of volunteerism. So can you tell us how long you've been volunteering for AARP Massachusetts?
I've been volunteering a little over 10 years, and it started back about 10 years, a little over 10 years ago when I retired. I had been a victim of fraud about 12 years ago, and I was reading an article in the AARP magazine where Massachusetts was joining the national effort to roll out something called Fraud Watch Network. And I thought, I've been a victim of fraud. I know how easy it happens. My background is in training and staff development, and being retired, I wanted to do something. and I guess I have the skills to do presentations and those types of things. So that's what got me involved.
That's
Yeah.
great. Have you seen or chatted with anyone that you've really made a difference with, or have you seen a difference in the communities you serve because of your volunteerism?
Yes. People have questions about fraud, and sometimes they don't want to bring them up in front during the presentation. So I always hang around after the presentation, and it's amazing how many people come up and say, "I had this situation. What can you tell me anything about it?" Because they really, or I had been scammed. And when it comes to fraud, you should never blame the victim, and that's why people don't want to come forward. So yeah, having the interaction with people afterwards is sometimes really important because they get the answers to the question or share their stories.
So what positive changes have you seen in your life from volunteering?
I love interacting with other people, other volunteers. Again, here in Massachusetts, we have something called the Speakers Bureau. We meet every other week on a Thursday, and the Speakers Bureau volunteers get together and we share experiences and things that we can do to move the Speakers Bureau forward. So interacting with other volunteers here in Massachusetts is really important. And it's great conversation. And what's really neat is when we can get together in person.
And you hear
Yeah.
people in the meetings or different things. It's so nice to be back in person. So I'm happy that everything seems to be heading that way. If someone wants to volunteer but
Mhm.
is feeling
Yeah.
hesitant or doesn't know where to start, so you first started out by saying find something you're passionate
Yeah.
about.
AARP has lots of opportunities to volunteer. Um, Even no matter what the organization is, AARP uses a model called ladders of engagement, which I think is really kind of neat. Start small. It may be volunteering once a month,
Yeah.
learning about the organization that you have a passion for, and those small engagements, you start to learn more about them. And then you may want to decide to do, and that's what happened to me. I did the fraud and then uh, the portal training. I mentor volunteers, and that's really an important thing. We have a mentor program, and being able to get talk to new volunteers and do a one-on-one mentoring. We do a lot of it with Zoom initially, but I met people in person to give them a lay of the land of what's it like to be a volunteer. What are the things that are available for me, um, and how to help them move forward, becoming more engaged with in this case with AARP, but with any organization.
I love that. So find something you're passionate about, but also starting small, because I do
Yeah.
think people can be resistant about how much time is going to be asked of them and how this can fit in with, their lifestyle and other things going on. So those are really great tips of where to start. So
Yeah.
any last thoughts or comments, Dennis, on this topic?
No matter what you volunteer for, it's rewarding. And I don't remember where I heard it, but I heard one person say, "If we're not here to help other people, what are we here for?" And really feel that very strongly. That being a volunteer, you are always helping somebody, helping an organization with their mission, and of course with AARP, helping people 50 plus. Um, Learning how to live as we age.
Yeah, and think about 50 plus, gosh, people are living longer and healthier lives past 100. So you can really make an impact on a large number of folks. Dennis, thank you so much for your time and sharing what volunteerism has meant for you. So thank you. Back to you, Sandra.
Thank you, Melissa and Dennis. Finally, Polly, what are some of the most rewarding aspects of your work and volunteer engagement? And what keeps you motivated to continuing fostering these kinds of connections?
For me, it is equally the social component, which is really what our volunteers are looking for as well. The social component is so important to volunteerism, and it's important to me as a person on the staff at AARP Massachusetts. I love working with the teams of volunteers that we have. I love learning from them. They are all people with years and years of experience in their lives, both personally and professionally. And I gain so much from them. We're We're in the planning period for our annual volunteer conference right now, and we've got an amazing team of people that they're all retired, but they have so much wisdom and knowledge to impart on the planning process. I'm just learning stuff every day from the group. And so that's what inspires me, is to get to keep learning myself and seeing the volunteers continuing their learning as well. The social component is just wonderful. And then we also do appreciation events, which I think is really important for any volunteer program. At the end of the year, we did a lovely dinner with a lot of our volunteers that gathered together in community to celebrate the amazing work that they did. And those are the special moments. Those are the highlights, when we're together in person, chatting, eating, celebrating the work that they're doing.
Okay, so I'm going to give you one moment to put out a pitch for new volunteers. Go for it.
Okay, well, if you are looking for something new in your life, if you're looking for an opportunity to meet new people and to really give back to community and feel connected in a meaningful way, we have a variety of opportunities that you can be a part of, whether it's a small step to start by tabling, or you want to work up to a larger step of planning a volunteer conference. There's something in between, and there's something for everybody. So we hope you'll reach out to us, and we hope you'll want to get engaged so that you can make a difference in your backyard.
And how do they find you?
Yeah, so you can go to aarp.org/MA, and you'll get to the Massachusetts State Office, and we'll be happy to connect you and talk with you and have a conversation to learn more about you and your background.
Thank you, Polly. This has been wonderful. You're truly inspiring, and thanks for sharing your insights. And special thanks to all the AARP volunteers out there who do tremendous work in making sure the Commonwealth is a great place to live and grow old. As we've learned, volunteerism is not only about giving, it also involves forming connections, discovering purpose, and enhancing our well-being. I encourage all of you watching to explore opportunities in your community and see the positive impact they can have on your life and the lives of others. Remember that every act of kindness, no matter how small, helps create a greater sense of community, belonging, and purpose. Join us next month as we continue our journey to build connections and promote healthy aging. Until then, take care of yourself and each other. Stay well, stay connected, and thank you for watching Connect. Visit us at endlonelinessma.com to watch previous episodes of Connect, to learn more about the coalition and discover ways you can join the movement to help alleviate loneliness and promote healthy aging in Massachusetts. Thank you.
There are so many ways to help others and give back to your community. But it can be challenging to find opportunities that utilize your unique skills and make a real impact. Create the Good is an online tool that connects volunteers with organizations that need extra help. Whether you're 18 or 81, in school, working, or retired, Create the Good has an opportunity for you. It's easy to get started. Just enter your zip code and a few keywords that describe your skills and passions to find opportunities near you. Whether you have 1 hour to deliver a meal, a full day to help repair a house, or time each week to tutor a student. If you don't see what you're looking for, try out one of the do-it-yourself guides to create your own volunteer experience. More than 200,000 people have already joined the movement. Visit createthegood.org to help you help others and create your good today.